Go out and see it. Just go. That's where the review can basically end. Godzilla Minus One is the newest Japanese Godzilla movie from Toho. This is a momentous occasion for Godzilla fans. You know, it's the first one to be released in American theaters since Shin Godzilla. You know, we've had the Netflix releases like the anime show, as well as the anime movies, as well as the MonsterVerse, but this is really a special occasion. You know, Shin Godzilla came out 10 years ago, so it's the first time in a long time that a Japanese Godzilla movie has been in theaters. And wow. Wow is all I can say. Go out and see this now. It's worth every dime. And actually, this is the first time that I recommend go and see it on the biggest screen that you can, like the IMAX. I saw this movie twice already, and first it was the IMAX on a special screening on Wednesday for fans, and then I saw it yesterday on Saturday. It was still incredible no matter what, but definitely go see it on the biggest screen that you can and with the best audio that you can. The moments when Godzilla is roaring, you really feel it in your chest, or for instance, when the original Godzilla theme is coming back in and it's, you know, this amazing reorchestrated music. This was probably my favorite movie of the year. It topped everything for this year. It's so impressive how Japan can come out and make something that's $15 million with the budget that this has, and it's so much better than what something like The Flash or Indiana Jones that had like $200 or $300 million budgets, and it just looked 100 times better than anything that has been released in the last 5 years. As a Godzilla fan, this is... Originally, you know, when I was coming out of the theater, I was like, that was good, but I don't want to say it's one of the best Godzilla movies or my personal favorite because, you know, I really love a lot of the classic ones like Godzilla vs. Biollante from the Heisei era, or Ebirah Horror of the Deep, or Son of Godzilla, or even Final Wars, for example, I have a lot of nostalgia for. But, you know, having seen it twice now, I've just got to say that this is probably one of the most well-made Godzilla films. It has some of the best moments that have Godzilla in it. And its human story is one of the best told in Godzilla. It's very emotional. The acting is a 10 out of 10. You know, there's no goofy one-liners that you can kind of giggle at.
Take that, you dinosaur!
I've got to say the characters in this movie are some of my favorite that has been in a Godzilla film. Everyone from the scientist to the kid, the boat captain, and the main character himself. Just easily some of the most emotional moments in a Godzilla film. And probably the most tense I felt in a Godzilla movie. When it comes to the boat scene, when you first see Godzilla fully in his form after the bombing, you have the moment when it's like Jaws almost, and the build up to it when all the scientists and the people on the boat, they're like, oh, what are we doing out here? What are we doing out here? And the one scientist is like, oh, we're bait basically. And the other guys are like, we can take it on. And it's kind of like building, the tension is building. And then that one part when Godzilla comes out of the water and chomps on this boat, and then it turns back to the people and they're like, let's get going. You know, it's easily some of the best human moments in Godzilla. And, you know, when it comes to that, it's a pretty rare occasion that the human characters really shine in a Godzilla film, at least recently. I know a lot of the Heisei movies and the Showa movies, as well as even the Millennium era, have a lot of great human stories. Not every single one of them is a hit, but definitely recently with Godzilla, the movies have not been rewatchable as much as the original movies because, you know, the human characters have not been written very well. You have something like Shin Godzilla come out, and it was okay, but, you know, a lot of the human moments in that movie, you were just waiting for the Godzilla parts to appear. It was kind of boring. I mean, it was still good the first time around, but not something that you would want to rewatch over and over and over again, like this, for example. The MonsterVerse, I've been very disappointed with its human stories. I haven't watched Legacy of Monsters, the TV series, yet, but it's definitely been pretty miss on the MonsterVerse's end as in terms of a compelling human story. I think the best one was the 2014 Godzilla film, but you know, it wasn't really that rewatchable, and the Godzilla moments were pretty sparse. So watching that a second or a third time is a bit boring, to be honest. This is the opposite effect of that. Its main story evolves around Godzilla. There's little moments that are, you know, not really tied to Godzilla, but almost the entire storyline hinges on Godzilla as a main character almost. And all I've got to say is that you really should go out and watch this movie. It's easily the best movie of the year. The music, especially, was just a treat to hear the original Showa themes in that theater reorchestrated, with the big booming drums, and the orchestra was just amazing. Seriously, the soundtrack in this, when the main Godzilla theme was happening, and there's this part at the end when the boats are all gathering together and the captain, is trying to shout this order, and all of a sudden, the drums are they're slowing down, the dun 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 dun, and then all of a sudden it comes back together in this momentous, really fast-paced version of the Godzilla theme. No matter how many times I could see this movie, just the dumbest smile on my face would appear. Seriously, I love this movie. I can't stop praising it. I love that so many people are praising this movie and that it's getting good reviews and it's doing very well for an American box office. Almost everybody is saying that this is a perfect Godzilla film, and I really can't say there's a whole lot of bad in this Godzilla film. A lot of people say, there's bits and moments that the CGI doesn't look that great. I really didn't see any that I could complain about, but just in total, go watch this movie. I'm so happy that a Godzilla film, especially a Japanese one, is getting so much mainline attention and that it's getting positive reviews from both the critics and the fan side. This isn't something that's splitting up, the audience or the critics side. Everybody is unanimous in this movie being absolutely amazing, and it's such a special treat to see that. But anyways, yeah, just, my quick thoughts on the movie. Be sure to stay tuned for a Godzilla retrospective. That's going to take a while. Part 1 is over 1,000 pages so far, and I've got my work cut out for that, so be sure to stay tuned.